All right, have and have not fans, you've been waiting for me to do this video since they aired the promo Tuesday night. Couple of disclaimers. Number one, it is early on Thursday morning. I only got so much sleep due to the premieres of The Oval and Sisters. I've already done episode reviews for both series. They're up on the channel now. Number two, they are doing construction outside of my apartment right now. I don't know for what. They've just been moving from location to location, hammering and drilling away. So if you hear background noise, I apologize. However, I could not wait to do this video because more people have been hitting me up for this video than about The Oval and Sisters, even though things were very well on Twitter last night. I got several announcements, but for your sake, I'll save them towards the end of the video. I know some people are tripping already. It's like, dude, we're almost a minute in. Why don't you show the promo? Yeah, whatever. Last thing I want to say before I show the actual trailer. They haven't put out the official trailer. What I mean by that is the promo that we saw Tuesday night isn't on the Haves and Have-Nots or OWN or Tyler Perry social media stuff, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. So the trailer I'm going to show is what fans have been recording from the TV using their phone, and at least 18 people have sent it to me. So thank you all who have sent me the video. So you all know I typically wait until they post the official trailer. That way it has the best quality photos. I would prefer to wait, but it's been about 2 days and we still haven't gotten anything. What's going to piss me off if I do this video this morning, edit, then post it, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's like 2:00 p.m. We're going to upload the official trailer. Here you go. And it's like, oh well. But without further ado, this is about a 30-second promo revealing the return date for the Haves and Have-Nots. So with that being said, let's watch the promo. I'm going to come back and I'm going to break it down bit by bit.
They're not going anywhere. This season is going to be deadlier than ever. Temptation Tuesdays are back. Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots season premiere, January 7th, only on OWN.
All right, folks. So for starters, this trailer answered so many questions within the span of 30 seconds. The biggest thing for everyone who's been asking, we finally got the official release date. The Haves and the Have-Nots is coming back to OWN. The show hasn't been canceled. I'll get to what the narrator said later, but the show is returning January 7th, 2020. Now, nobody needs to ask about it anymore. January 7th, 2020, the Haves and the Have-Nots. Now, let's get the narrator only said a couple lines of dialogue, except for, the very end, the Haves and the Have-Nots, January 7th. Yeah, we already said that. The narrator said some pretty interesting things. They're not going anywhere. This season is going to be deadlier than ever. Temptation Tuesdays are back. This explains so much. So I feel like they're not going anywhere answers two questions. Number one, the show ain't canceled. I don't even know how that rumor got circulated. Number two, the show, I take it also is that the show isn't going anywhere, as in it's not leaving the OWN network. It's staying on OWN. And you can also make the debate, well, Jeremy, she said they're not going anywhere. Does that mean none of the main cast are dead? That's an interesting hypothetical question, but I'm not going to think about it. So I say that it answers the question that they're not going anywhere, meaning that they're not leaving OWN and the show isn't canceled. So that's the first part. We already know that the tagline was season 7 is going to be the deadliest season yet. And Temptation Tuesdays are back January the 7th. Now, what I've done for the trailer, I found it very interesting because I do believe that they shot the promos for this trailer, all the characters standing around looking amazing. They did this back in December of 2018. Because I remember Tyler Lepley, aka Benny Young, he was doing Instagram stories about how, it's 2018 and we're doing promos for, a couple of months ago in 2018, we're shooting the season for earlier this year in 2018, we were shooting episodes for 2019. It's 2018 December and we're doing promos for 2020. So he said it right there, like, hey, we're doing promos for new episodes in 2020. So what I'm going to do here, is all 9 characters, Hannah, Candace, Benny, Veronica, Jeffrey, David, Catherine, Jim, Wyatt, they were all standing in front of like a what do you call it? Was it a green screen? Let's just call it a backdrop. Every one of them had a different thing on the screen, and I feel like each one symbolizes something. Ironically enough, Catherine and Jim both had the same thing, leading into what Wyatt had. And then after that, within the last 10 seconds, we got about 6 different scenes that explain a lot. So for the characters and what they were doing, number one, Hannah was standing in front of fire. That can mean a lot of things. For me, I think it kind of symbolizes the whole Phoenix thing, where this Phoenix, goes down in a blaze of glory, then it emerges reborn from the ashes. I feel like for Hannah, season 7 is going to be like a rebirth where everything might feel like it's being burnt down. Hopefully she doesn't have to deal with another house fire, after Quincy destroyed her first house. Like everything in her life is going to be like burnt down to ashes, but then she's going to reemerge stronger than ever. Perhaps, her burning out moment, if you will, was when she learned the truth about Derek. And I'll talk about Hannah more once we get into the various scenes in the trailer, but I feel like the fire is definitely like a rebirth for her. For Candace, she's standing in front of what looks like to be a full moon. But again, this is why I wish the trailer was released in high quality so I can get a better look at it. But it definitely, I Googled it because I'm like, wait, isn't the blood moon a thing? And it's like a red moon. And let me look it up because I actually have Google pulled up here. And in terms of what the Bible has to say about it, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood because the great and terrible day of the Lord, before the great and terrible day of the Lord. And that's from, I believe, Joel chapter 2, verse 31. And then Acts 2, verse 20, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and notable day of the Lord. So could this mean, Candace is going to get into some bloody acts again? Or does this mean Candace will go through the worst because, she's definitely going through it now before she finds the Lord? Possibly. Benny, he's just standing in front of what looks like to be just a cloudy sky. You can kind of see, I would call like the partly cloudy sky. Like maybe he gets enlightened. Maybe, he comes out of that cloudy fog that he's been in ever since he woke up from being off life support. So maybe we'll get, some continuation of that storyline. Or maybe it just means that Benny will get clarity this season. I would hope so. Next up, we have Veronica. Simply, it looks like there's a crow or raven behind her, like a black bird. So I immediately thought crow raven, kind of representing what she is now, repping the all, rocking the all black and almost like an agent of death, so to speak. And once again, I'll talk more Veronica once we get to the various scenes. Jeffrey has, I believe, like a dove of peace kind of flying behind him. So maybe he'll be like an olive branch between Veronica and David. Or hopefully this means the dove of peace, as in he finally finds peace with himself, gets away from Justin, tries to get his own life on the right track. Hopefully that's what that means. David has a weeping willow. That bitch tried to kill me. She sent all those thugs trying to shoot up me and Jeffrey. If you watch The Oval, then you should definitely consider, if you haven't watched it, watch it. I watched it 3 times already. Richard, the head butler, he reminds me of David Harrington. And if my David voice is a bit off, please forgive me. I've recorded so many videos in the past several hours and I've barely gotten to sleep because my mind has been racing with this stuff. So I apologize if my David Harrington sounds a bit rusty, especially if you're a new viewer. And if you can't hear it, they're hammering in the apartment right above me while I'm recording. All right. But now we got Catherine and Jim both standing, looking very somber. Wait, is that the right word? And you see I would say you see thunder and lightning, but you can't see thunder. We see lightning behind the two of them, leading into, ironically enough, Wyatt is like a shadowy figure. We see him, but he's covered in dark, shadows. And we see him in a graveyard. So I wonder if this is symbolism for, we don't know what the situation is for the criers, which is I loved how they put this trailer together. It's just like I called it, and I'll talk about that more once we get to the back half of the video. Now, before I move into the individual scenes, because I just spent the first chunk of this trailer review talking about the various characters and what they were doing. Before I get to the various scenes, I got to do my quick disclaimers real quick. So, just buckle in for a couple minutes. then I'll get to what everybody wants me to talk about, because we got a new character people have been asking about. We have the return of a character people have been asking about for years. So get ready. Here we go. Now, if you're new to the channel, I hope you take a moment to hit that subscribe button, because yesterday we just hit 93,000 subscribers, which is amazing. We need less than 7,000 in order to hit the 100,000 goal. That would be great to get that silver play button award, and fingers crossed we can hit it before the end of the year, you know, before the haves and the have-nots returns on January 7th as well. But with the pretty well response, you know, from the fans, from the Oval and Sisters, and I have a lot of videos to do before next week. I hope that and I know that the channel can reach that goal, but I can't do it without you. So if you are new to the channel, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon, because people have been telling me they haven't been notified when I post new content. On top of that, I created new Facebook groups, one for the Oval, one for Sisters, and all the links to my various social media are in the description below, such as my Twitter, my eBay store where I sell stuff, free shipping, trading cards, action figures. I have Facebook pages and everything else in between. And if you would like to donate to the channel, because I'm a full-time YouTuber, there's a link to my PayPal. If you want to send a couple bucks, say, hey, I appreciate what you do. Here's some money on me. If it's $1, I'd appreciate it as much as $20 or $50 or $100. If you don't have any money to give, that's perfectly fine. You watching this video supports me and I appreciate it. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And also, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, if you have not watched the Oval and Sisters, they were pretty good. I definitely recommend them. At the moment, I do not know how BET plans to have these available. Like, for example, on OWN, Haves and Have-Nots, Ambitions, Greenleaf. If you didn't watch the episode live, they'll have it available on the Watch OWN app. I'm relatively new to how BET does things, because I have not watched BET live in quite a while. The only times I remember doing it in recent years were the New Edition story and the Bobby Brown story. So I don't know. I'm going to assume, which is a dangerous word, that they'll have the Oval and Sisters on BET.com. I do know they're going to have an encore performance this Sunday. I don't know the time, because, you know, I just heard it from someone, and then I did see a preview, but I forgot the time slot. I don't know if it's going to be available on BET Plus, like if they'll immediately upload the episodes or if they'll wait, you know, until the season's over. But just keep your eyes out. And if anybody finds out or knows how the Oval and Sisters will be made available to view, please let me know. Easiest way to contact me is either tweet me or DM me on Instagram, but I wish they would put it on their YouTube channel. That would be amazing. I know that the OWN does that for, you know, most of their shows for the first couple episodes, and they take them down. But yeah, I definitely recommend the Oval and Sisters. Also, I have to give a special shout out to two Have and Have Not cast members, Mr. Keith Burke and Mr. Oscar Torre. If you don't know who they are, Keith Burke, aka Derek from the Haves and Have Nots, and Oscar Torre portrays Vinny Malone, Uncle Vinny, Mitch's uncle. And if you could do me a favor, follow them on social media. Two of the best cast members that I know. We pretty much speak on pretty much a regular basis. They are some great guys, and you can ask them, and you can say, hey, Jeremy said this, if you message them on Instagram or whatever. I remember not 24 hours before the promo dropped, I was talking with them about how, man, the Oval and Sisters, I'm excited, but I'm nervous. You know, it's going to be a lot of work, but I can't wait to review these shows. And I said, I can't wait for a trailer. Then I'm like, I don't know exactly what they can do for a trailer, because typically they have a mini trailer just giving us the return date, and then weeks later they'll give us a full-on trailer. But the thing is, how can they give us a trailer without revealing too much stuff, especially, you know, with Catherine, Jim, and Wyatt, not to mention David and Jeffrey. We don't know their fates yet, but there are so many other characters on the B and C tier that could be in the trailer without revealing too much. And then later that night, boom, trailer dropped when I was asleep during Greenleaf. So with that being said, make sure you follow me, subscribe. Be sure to follow Derek and Uncle Vinny on Instagram. Check out the Oval and Sisters. And I know you're probably waiting for me to move on, and here we go. We're getting to the back half, the last 10 seconds or so of this trailer. A lot of people have been telling me, man, we didn't have any dialogue. I agree. We didn't get any dialogue. The only dialogue in the trailer is from the narrator. But actually, I'm going to put these scenes together. They're going to be a little out of order. No. I'm going to take the scenes that we got from the trailer and kind of rearrange them in the way that I think they're going to go. Like, number one, and if you looked at my Derek videos, you know I predicted this. I'd say that Derek is going to come and talk with Hannah at some point in season 7, but the only way I can see him being able to speak with Hannah is, number one, face to face, because there's no way she's going to answer the phone. So I think what will happen is he'll go to Hannah's house to deliver the news about the criers, because if you remember, he was on the phone with Catherine and Jim was on the phone with David, but when Wyatt was walking around shooting. So it stands to reason that Catherine didn't hang up the phone. Like, we saw that Jim didn't hang up the phone when Wyatt shot him and David was on the line. And we also didn't see Catherine hang up the phone with Derek because she heard the gunshot, went downstairs, ran, fell, went back to the tub, assuming the phone is still on, and then she's begging for her life and Wyatt shoots her. So Derek probably heard that. And then we have George and everybody showing up. Wyatt gets shot. And then the trailer, here's my assumption. Derek goes over to deliver the news. Hannah is shocked. And then we get 2 shots of one of Candace and one of Benny. I'm going to somewhat assume they're in the living room when Derek's there, because, you know, Benny wouldn't want to have, you know, his mother talking with somebody that she doesn't want to talk to. But Derek is probably very stoic and emotional. The fact that this is serious. I know we have to talk, but at the same time, this is something that you need to hear. And that explains the next scene. You know, we can see like Candace and Benny both looking shocked at this, or it could be the next day. They are wearing different clothes. It's like, that's one big thing about the haves and have-nots. Like, they had just had dinner and everything. And, you know, that's when Benny was telling Candace about keeping the money and going. So this could be the next day. And it's like, why would they change clothes when it's the same night and they were getting ready for bed? You know what I mean? But it is a new season, so who knows? So in any case, Candace and Benny are probably reacting to the news. Moving on. So we have Hannah standing behind some police tape, and it looks like there are a bunch of reporters and, you know, news people there, and there's one cop. So we can assume Hannah rushes to the scene, you know, hey, I work for them. That's my friend and this and that. And then she gets the news and it turns out to be true, because she wouldn't be running to David's house, you know, like if the police were there, because somehow the neighbors in David's area did not see a group of, you know, black people, goons walking around the neighborhood, shooting up an entire house, and nobody says anything. And I am still mad about Veronica leaving a cigarette butt, but yeah, no way that Hannah would be there. So yeah, it looks like this shooting really happened. I do not know if this is a dream, but I also predicted what Tyler might do is he'll play it up for this first episode like it's a dream, but then at the very end, he has Wyatt wake up or whatever because he's in a hallucination from his drugs, and then he attempts to go get the gun, and then, you know, I could see Jim Cry be like, looking for this son, and then it's like, dun dun dun. So I could definitely see that being a possibility for what Tyler Perry can do with, you know, just kind of twisting what we saw from the season 6 finale and then the premiere for this episode, which I believe is entitled, Are You Happy? All right, now aside from that, we have about 3 more scenes to talk with, and 2 of them are kind of connected. Let's get the first one out of the way. I know everybody wants me to talk about it. And it goes back to how this little promo answered a lot of questions. Jeffrey Owens is in season 7, like I've been saying for about a year now. Jeffrey Owens is in season 7. We saw him briefly. He's on the couch with Charles, presumably in his home. And we do not know the name of Jeffrey Owens' character just yet. All we know is that he's a senator. And I have done several videos on this channel about Jeffrey Owens, so check him out. That's all I gotta say. Jeffrey Owens is coming up. I don't know what episode, but he's going to be in season 7. So Jeffrey Owens. Why am I repeating this? Because people ask me about Jeffrey Owens every day. Just like, you know, when is the show coming back? The show's coming back January 7th. Jeffrey Owens is in season 7. Ooh, I like that. Season 7, January 7th. But I don't know what episodes, but he will be in there. And then we get to another character people have been asking about for years. I don't believe that we've seen Celine since the episode when the chickens come home. I believe that's the one where, you know, Jim ordered the bloodbath and he's giving his speech, and then we have Toxic, Professor Cannon, Terrell being killed, and we see Celine watching Jim's speech, but that's the last time we've ever seen her. She did get a name drop at the beginning of season 5 when we first met Broderick and Jim is mad at Catherine and she names drops Celine. Why don't you go back to Celine? This was when Catherine wanted a divorce. So I believe that we haven't seen Celine since the last episode of season 3, a name drop during season 5, episode 1, and we're finally going to see her in season 7. It looks like she's an employee at the hospital because we see a name tag on her neck area of her shirt. We see Madison in the background, and based off the hairstyle and black leather jacket, I believe that it's Veronica who Celine is talking with. What is Veronica doing at the hospital? I don't know. I mean, she was there in the finale, you know, pretty much tormenting Justin, and then she pretty much just went off on some homosexual tirade against Madison. So I don't believe we saw Veronica at the hospital. I mean, at her house after that. We saw her at the beginning when it came to David's house. Then we saw her at the hospital with Justin and Madison. So she's either still at the hospital and runs into Celine, or she goes back to the hospital to torment Justin some more, or probably to check on the status of David and Jeffrey. I don't really know, but either way, she will be bumping into Celine at the hospital, which begs a lot of questions. What is Celine doing there when she literally has millions of dollars that Jim has given her for child support over the years for Carlos and little Jim? And remember that she still lives in a have-nots part of town. So like I've always assumed, I bet that Celine has never spent more than the required amount to take care of her kids. One could also assume that she probably just lived off her check as a maid, but she did continue to hint to Jim in the later episodes of season 2 that I need my check. You know, here's the list of things I need. So one could assume that she basically spent what was necessary, because she did tell Wyatt, unlike you know, my son worked his way through college and did everything he needed to do to be where he is today. So I don't think that Celine ever spent, like hundreds of thousands. So she's probably sitting on millions. And I think that goes back to Carlos not even knowing about it, because in Celine's mind, Jim was always going to come back for her and his sons, and pretty much always wanted to say, hey, you know what? This was never about the money. We just wanted you. So I imagine that's why she's working at the hospital. That's just my theory. We'll find out. And now for the last scene, scenes also with Veronica. She's at her house. She's sitting on a couch, still wearing the all black. And I'm wondering, who the hell are those guys that are there? It's like, are these new thugs that she's rounded up? Guys that she probably helped out in court before? Because I still have no flipping idea how the hell, why she didn't wait around. Remember, she just heard Jeffrey, and just saw, all the flashes from the guns going off, but we never saw any of the thugs leave the house. So did David and Jeffrey take them all out, or what? Or I don't know who these guys are. Apparently, there's going to be at least one main character who's sitting on the couch with her, who I don't know who it is. Because at first glance, like, wait, is that Derek? Nope. So are these guys from Derek's hit list? Remember the one that Derek gave Veronica before, she had the car bomb with Erica and David? Are these more guys that she's gathered up for protection or whatever? Or are these guys, who are going to be cleaning more houses for, if you will, like, hey, I need you to go here, kill this person, kill that person? Because why would she have all these people around? Or is it a situation where, hey, Veronica Harrington, you got our crew killed, so we're going to kill you? I don't think that's the case, though, because Veronica looks like she's in control of the situation. So I'm very curious to see what's going to go down there. So with that being said, folks, looking at my notes, I think this about covers it. The narrator was the only one who gave dialogue. I broke down all the various characters, the backdrop they were standing in front of, what I think they'll mean. And then I talked about the half a dozen scenes that we got towards the end of the trailer. Already did my shout outs. And of course, I did my self-promotion, so make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, social media links in the description below. Give this video a thumbs up. It really helps, fight the YouTube algorithm. And comment your thoughts. What were some of your favorite moments from this trailer? Do you agree with my symbolism of what the characters were standing in front of and what they represent? If you have a different interpretation, make sure you comment that below. And also, once again, I gotta say, check out the Ovals and Sisters. Great shows, definitely something to keep us busy until the Haves and Have-Nots returns in only a couple of months. And in case you're wondering, yes, no, I have not watched Greenleaf yet. I will be doing my episode review. They did upload the trailer to YouTube yesterday, but I need to slow things down because I've been, very stressed out lately, about, oh God, 2 new shows, what am I going to do? But I kind of I kind of fell into both shows. I have a few videos to do for each one, so that says a lot. Those are pretty good. And of course, I got to give out a shout out to Tyler Perry once again for the freaking retweet last night that, really got me going. I was excited about that. And it felt like I finally got recognized in some way, shape, or form. So hopefully by him retweeting me, that brings more people to the channel. So just thank you, Tyler Perry, for that. If Tyler Perry or anybody who is watching this video that knows Tyler Perry, just say, hey, thanks. I appreciate that. So with that being said, folks, that was my trailer breakdown or teaser trailer for the haves and the have-nots. And keep in mind, we might get the standard 1 minute trailer full of scenes and dialogue from the character. But I mean, and trust and believe, I want that 1 minute trailer. But to be somewhat honest, the one we got, that's 30-second promo, that's more than enough. But maybe I won't be singing that same tune when it's like, oh, dang, I need some new material, if I run out. But overall, I enjoyed this. It was definitely a surprise. I did not see it coming. And thanks again to everyone who shared it with me. And I think that covers everything. I have nothing left to say. Done the promotions. I broke the teaser trailer down. And just once again, thank you all for supporting me by watching my videos. It really does mean a lot. And we are getting closer and 100,000 every day. It is becoming a reality, and it will definitely be an emotional moment once we hit it. And once we hit 95,000 subscribers, like I promised, I did find some more Tyler Perry DVDs in Walmart a couple of days ago, so I'll do another giveaway. I stick with doing my giveaways on Instagram now. I found that's the easiest way to pick winners. Have the winners contact me via DM on Instagram with their mailing address, because 2 winners of DVDs on Tuesday, I mailed their DVDs out yesterday morning. So make sure you follow me on Instagram there. And if you have anything else to add in terms of the trailer, feel free to comment. If you come across any new news, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. And with that being said, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next video.